Hello, welcome to this. I'm going to try to be brief and at the same time. I want to say that I'm really, I think the word is disappointed, upset, angry, disappointed, um, totally divided. Um, I really don't know what to say. It is whatever happens. I'm honestly angry, frustrated, and disappointed with humanity. Um, on that hand, I want to point out that I used Campanus Tropical here. I use the date of June 12th, 2 a.m., Orlando, Florida. And there's certain things that I want to pay close attention. We have here the ascendant, the rising sign, and notice that it's at 29 degrees Pisces. Then we have the medium coeli, the midheaven, the center of the chart, which is 29 degrees as well. So we have um, sorry, we have here the axis that splits the chart in half, okay, vertically and horizontally. And what we're seeing here is that both of them are at 29 degrees, those axes. And 29 degrees is a very important number because it's signaling major events coming. It's signaling that a new beginning is going to start. Something is going to give birth. Then we have here the 29 degrees, we have Mercury, communication, the planet of communication. But it's also 29 degrees, so it's signaling that something is about to happen. And then we have the axis here, Pisces, Virgo, and this is all about Pisces. Is all about love for humanity, understanding, comprehending, but we also have to understand there is always a yin and a yang aspect to everything. We would love to think that everything is a bed of roses and everything is beautiful and pink. No, it's not, especially when we're dealing with humans. And then Virgo, this is all about service to humanity. Virgo Pisces, this is about um, humanity getting to understand what is our purpose as individuals and be able to use that knowledge to help humanity. Okay, the problem is that that didn't happen that day because that's the lowest way of manifesting this energy. Instead of love, you will see hate. Okay, and if you are into metaphysics, then you know that love and hate is the same energy. The difference is that hate obviously is the lowest level of manifestation, the lowest vibrational level of love. Then we had the medium coeli, Sagittarius, Gemini. This is about gathering information. This is about experience acquired throughout your life that has to be put in place in order to understand the big picture. Okay? And obviously, this is important because we have Gemini here that starts here and ends here. The energy of house number 3 of knowledge, acquiring knowledge, is trapped. So it's letting us know that there is energy. This energy, it cannot be manifested, or is showing that there is limited resources to make judgments and understand the big picture. But we have also here Sagittarius. that is also trapped. That energy is trapped. It starts with Sagittarius and ends with Sagittarius. You see? Starts with Sagittarius, ends with Sagittarius. That energy is also of that house is trapped, cannot be manifested. We have Saturn there, trapped. Saturn cannot express itself. But then we have Saturn, which is retrograde. And is the house of ideologies, philosophy, religion. And Saturn retrograde could mean many things. And also is showing that there is a lot of internalization. The person is thinking and analyzing, restructuring his, hers, ideas and philosophy of life. But there's also a sign of stubbornness. Saturn is a big sign of also stubbornness, and is in the house 9. So we're talking about fundamentalist, radical ways of thinking, perceiving, and understanding the world. That's the energy, but cannot be manifested. So how is going to be manifested? Then we have to look at Capricorn, which is the one that Saturn rules, or we can look at Jupiter, and because it's the one that rules Sagittarius, and it's going to tell us how that energy of Saturn is going to be manifested. We have here in house number 3 the Sun and Venus. The Sun is trapped. It is trapped, cannot express its energy, its purpose in life. This is the self, the purpose. And if you notice, the Sun looks like an egg or an oven, and this represents life. And there's life that is trapped, okay, that cannot be manifested, that cannot grow. So the only way to see how it's going to be manifested is by looking at the planet that rules, in this case Gemini, house number 3, which is Mercury, which is in house number 2, the house of our values, our what we value as individual, what is important, our moral principles, etc., etc. And Mercury is here, but Mercury is opposed by Mars. Mars is retrograde. There's a lot of anger and there's a lot of frustration here, and it's in Scorpio. Okay, and Mars is the core ruler of Scorpio. And then we have Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, and then we see that is here on house number 10. And then what we have here is technically like Mars energy is going to be channeled using Pluto energy, and that points towards Saturn, Capricorn, that is the ruler of Capricorn, letting us know that this radical fundamentalist way of thinking, stubbornness, is going to be manifested by the energy of Pluto in Capricorn. And then we have also Jupiter. So we're seeing here a pattern that emerging. Then we have Virgo, that is related with social services. I'm going to call it social services, and hospitals are also included, health services. Notice that the North Node is, in other words, here pushing, giving a huge emphasis on house number 6, that is related with that, with hospitals, all that kind of, so have an emphasis. The moon is the one that influence our oceans. our emotions as well. And not only that, we have to think that the moon um, is related with the tides, low tide, high tide, blah blah blah. And if we look at the blood, our blood, as oceans or rivers, then we're going to have low tides, high tides of blood. And there's a very big emphasis in hospital services here. Pisces, Virgo, a big emphasis in hospitalizations. But then if we think about the moon as blood, and then we have Jupiter that is emphasizing that, it's letting us know that there's going to be a lot of blood loss. um, I thought that was amazing to see this in an astrological chart. And then we have the wounded healer in Pisces, isolation again. And these guys, isolation, places that you are alone, hospitals again. Wounded healer, someone that is wounded. And we are seeing a pattern emerging. And then we have Neptune here. Neptune, he likes to conceal things, to hide things, and confuses things around. And if we think about that, they were trapped there in that place because they couldn't go anywhere, and the people got confused. Obviously, anyone does get confused with this major event. The victims, they were trapped, they were confused, there was obviously concealed weapon. And notice that house number 12 is also related with karma. So we are here seeing that there's a lot of things that are going to be dissolved. Many things are going to be dissolved. Neptune also could be seen as ruling the night, because the night is when everything is dark and no one can see. And the nightclub, technically everything was dark. So notice all the patterns that we are seeing here emerging. Okay, and then when we look at here this opposition, we have so many things to think, and that's more or less what I have for you, astrological speaking, for this Orlando massacre. Okay, a very sad event, and there's a lot of people mourning. There's going to be trauma for many years, and for the rest of the life, for everyone involved, directly and indirectly, in this event, which shows 29 degrees, 29 degrees, 29 degrees, 29 degrees. A situation that the survivors, or the ones affected, the family members affected by the death of this family, these are problems. And the thing is that Neptune is related also with psychology, depression, this kind of energy. So it's pointing toward that there is going to be a time that the survivors and the affected family will have to deal with them all by themselves. Is a personal hell that they need to do by themselves. Like I said at the beginning, that's what 29 degrees means, is the point of isolation, where the person is the one that needs to withdraw, retrieve, think, and analyze how to do this, how to think. The problem, because Neptune is related with depression, is highly probable, it's going to be very probable that everyone is going to be affected with depression or PTSD. That's a given. And notice that we have here Neptune and Chiron. Okay, so it's a very sad event, but this is the astrological chart for this night in question. Okay. Um, this is technically made for those that like astrology, and that will be all until the next